All righty. What's going on, fellas? Fresh off a pretty brutal defeat for the Bucks, but a very entertaining game. Definitely the best live football game I've ever been to in terms of the points being scored and stuff. I wish, hear me out, that Yaya Diaby and Anthony Nelson weren't in coverage on every single fucking touchdown for the Bills offense. On Tyrell Shavers' touchdown, Yaya Diaby is the closest defender until Ben Morrison tries to close gap on it. Then you see on Ty Johnson's touchdown, it was also an edge rusher on defense, and James Cook's wheel route also an edge rusher on defense. So how about, hear me out, Todd Bowles, maybe we throw the safeties and corners on those guys instead of the edge rushers, just saying. But very entertaining game nonetheless. Oh, am I lagging or are you lagging now? Something froze. Hopefully it's not me.
I'm good now.
Okay, it was you. All right.
Yeah, I just reset my Wi-Fi on my laptop or on my PC for a second because I was spiking.
All right. Yeah, no worries. We got a team review on deck here.
I saw Holt there as well.
Okay, so it was the first one that we had that for. Traditionally, we do buy sell hold reports for dynasty teams. Danny took a little stab into it for a redraft.
So full transparency, I made it more so like a trade targets list, maybe guys that you could look towards selling, and then ultimately guys that I would just rather hold for the rest of the season. Kind of gave the rationale on both the sell and the hold as to why I would sell a player, why I think you should hold them, and also maybe a couple mock trade ideas if you're trying to buy some players. Guys like Jefferson, Amon, or St. Brown, Javonte, and Jamar Chase, the guys that I think that you should potentially buy with this team. We were kind of looking through it though. I mean, obviously you have the most value. You're talking about I'm 6-4 in third place. I'm worried about May and Kittle buy. At 6-4 in third place, I think you're perfectly fine there. He does mention though, who should I try and target in those areas, and also what should I look for before the trade deadline? So in terms of a couple of the mock trades that I pointed out here, I think honestly, I would be perfectly fine sitting pat with this team. I do think you do have strength across the board, strength at the quarterback and tight end spots. Obviously, in a 10-team start-7 league, going to be very valuable there. And I do think at both the running back and wide receiver positions, you're good. I just think that you have so much depth to the point where I would try and consolidate with this team in terms of potential moves that you could be making. I have listed here, I mean, if you disagree with anything, you can let me know. Justin Jefferson plus Judkins in exchange for Devontae Adams and Chase Brown. Chase Brown kind of off a high. Devontae Adams obviously scores a touchdown. I do think that Jefferson owner could be panicking there. And maybe because Judkins scored 5.9, he views Chase Brown as kind of an upgrade there.
Yeah, no, I think upgrading your RB2 position in general with whatever's available, if you can get into the RB1 territory, that would make the most sense. Because if you can take Chase Brown and add in a Montgomery or a Warren or even, a different bench piece or something, if somebody needed a quarterback, you kind of have some depth at that position as well. That is the most logical solution, because between Jonathan Taylor, CeeDee Lamb, Emeka Egbuka, Devontae Adams, George Kittle, and Drake May, you have positional advantage at quarterback, RB1, wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2, flex, and tight end. So your only starting lineup piece that you can reasonably upgrade from is Chase Brown, who's presumably your RB2 at this point in time. And I think using an RJ Harvey or a Jalen Warren or somebody that's going to have value to a team that maybe could use some depth would make a lot of sense. Let's see. I don't know. Did you have some names?
So basically, I'm gonna go upload this into the media portion here. Let me take a look. Downloads, boom, boom, boom. I'm just gonna show it on the screen as we go through it, so it kind of makes a little bit more sense.
This bench warmer guy having Jahmyr Gibbs and then his RB2 being Isaiah Pacheco, really stands out as one guy just off the top of my head that I think would be in the market for, let's say you offered him Chase Brown, Jalen Warren, and a piece for Jahmyr Gibbs. Maybe he'd be like, yeah, you know what? I don't really have an RB2 right now. Chase Brown, Jalen Warren both get volume. Maybe I could split that Jahmyr Gibbs asset into two really good starting running backs for myself.
Yeah, Jahmyr Gibbs is a decent shout. The players that I kind of had listed here, I can just throw it on the screen there. I had 4 players in mind. Justin Jefferson, I kind of mentioned some of the deals. Jefferson plus Judkins, if you can do the Adams plus Brown. Maybe it costs you like a Devontae Adams plus a piece like Monunga. Again, some people might look at that and say, well, that's kind of a low ball. Well, that's the point here. Devontae Adams scores a touchdown. Jefferson, you kind of have the turmoil with the Vikings offense. People kind of don't know what to make of it. And it's not like you're down tiering it from this other guy's perspective too far. You're probably moving from the wide receiver 9, 10 rest of the season to like the wide receiver 12, 13 with Davante Adams. So to me, if it costs you like an Adams plus a Pierce or an Adams plus a Monungai, or you can do a 2-for-2 like the one that we have at the top here, if you're going to go for a guy like Justin Jefferson, I think that would be the appropriate price tag. We'll go through a couple of the trades in a second, but we'll go back to the team quick.
Yeah, no, I think personally, like you also had St. Brown listed there. I think given his receiver core, like there's probably not much that you really need to do. Like if you wanted to take like you said, an Adams and you know, one of his depth running backs and go after a Jefferson, go after a St. Brown. I mean, honestly, dude, I can't sit here with a straight face and tell you Davante Adams isn't a better fantasy asset than Justin Jefferson the rest of the season, to be honest with you. So I don't even think I'd be willing to do that.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to go further up, again, I personally would prefer Jefferson. I do really like the rest of the season. I am a little bit more concerned in terms of the regression back for the passing game for LA. We did see 3 or 4 straight games for passing touchdowns. I do think that's going to regress a little bit. Yeah. Davante Adams has been a little bit touchdown in terms of reliant. Sorry, I couldn't figure the touchdown or bust, touchdown reliance. Sorry, I couldn't think of the word for a second. But regardless, though, if you can do the Amon move, I think that'd make even more sense. We'll pull the potential offers up on the screen. Devontae plus David Montgomery, Devontae plus Jalen Warren, Devontae plus RJ Harvey. Ultimately, you have a lot of running backs, I would say, that kind of blend in together. And by taking one as a consolidation piece with Davante Adams, you give yourself less of a headache. You know exactly who you're going to start on a week-to-week basis, and you up tier out wide receiver from Adams to a guy like St. Brown.
Yeah, and I like this on this guy's same team. I'd be willing to go after James Cook too.
Yeah.
If he doesn't want to trade St. Brown because he's like, oh, you know, I need him. He's my top receiver or whatever, and he's worried about Swift or Jones or some of these other guys. Like, yeah, taking Chase Brown plus, like, I'd be willing to give him like Chase Brown and Davante Adams for James Cook and Marvin Harrison or something. If you want to upgrade your RB2 slot so that you know you have an every week starter in James Cook, and then downgrade your flex from Davante Adams to Marvin Harrison, because then you could be like, okay, yeah, Marvin Harrison's my flex on most weeks, but then I would also have the opportunity that if Marvin has a bad matchup, I could throw Jalen Warren out there, I could throw RJ Harvey out there or whatever. I don't mind upgrading into just like a bona fide stud RB1 level guy in my RB2 spot, because to me, I just feel like these 3 guys are just so locked and loaded, dudes. If you absolutely had to just hold your wide receiver, your 2 wide receivers in your flex, you'd be in pretty good shape doing that.
I don't disagree. I do think there's a couple other options I'd be willing to explore. The other ones, the packages that I kind of said for St. Brown, again, it depends. Like, did you lose this week? Did you win this week? If you're 7-4 in that situation, maybe you could make a risky move, get a guy like Jamar Chase. You know he's going to be suspended 1 game, but when he comes back, you're looking at a top 3 wide receiver. I kind of have his price tag listed similarly to the one that I had for Amon or St. Brown. I prefer if you can get it done with David Montgomery plus Adams, but I'd be willing to go upwards of a Warren or a Harvey.
I'd be willing to give him Chase Brown and Adams for Jamar.
I think given the context of the suspension, you should be able to get a little bit of a discount.
Maybe, but I would be willing to pay that. Like, yeah, I'd be willing to pay Chase Brown and Davante Adams to get Jamar.
Yeah, fair enough. I also think if you can take Chase Brown and it maybe cost you a guy like Monungai, a guy like Pierce, this guy in particular, he was needing a quarterback, so maybe he values Caleb Williams enough to be able to get a deal done. Whatever Chase Brown plus a small bit, if that can get you a guy like Javonte Williams, I do prefer Javonte rest of the season. So that was just an idea. Again, more of a lower scale deal. But if you wanted for a slight up tier on Chase Brown, I think this would be a deal that would make sense.
Another one that you could maybe go after Lamar too, knowing that Drake May and Lamar have performed similarly. And I think that rest of season, knowing that you have Drake May with a bye still, and also Lamar, I just think will outperform him rest of season. You could always see how much on top of Drake May you'd have to pay for Lamar Jackson. Like, I would say go after Josh Allen or something too, but like Josh Allen's performing at such a high level, you're just going to have to pay so much more for him than you would have to pay for Lamar or even Jalen Hurts if you wanted to go after Jalen Hurts. I mean, Drake May, Jalen Hurts, like same tier. So I probably, if you're just fine with Drake May, you could just hold him.
For sure. I'll also flash the players that I kind of indicated are the sells here and why the rationale. Davante Adams, basically, as you guys can see here, I think he's the tiered up tier. 10 team start 7 format. Realistically, your starting lineups, all that matters. But if you can attach him to any of the 3 running backs that we kind of listed there, Montgomery, Chase Brown, RJ Harvey, anybody like that, if you can attach Davante Adams to, I think they're the guys that you can use to consolidate. Especially knowing, like, if you made a consolidation move, a 2-for-1, a 3-for-2, something in that capacity, you can go and pick up. I mean, the fact that Kareem Hunt's available, Tyler Allgeier's available, Darnell Mooney now with Drake London hurt, Brandon Ayuk potentially for the stretch run. Like, there's just so many relevant guys on the wire. Even Harold Fannin, for that matter. You have George Kittle, but Harold Fannin, I also think has flex potential, especially as his depth piece. Like, we're looking across the board here. You make a consolidation move, you get rid of one roster spot, you're still adding a valuable piece off the wire.
Yeah, no, exactly. So, I mean, I saw that you also had Chase Brown listed as a good, potential sell candidate to try and tier up there, and David Montgomery, like you said, as well. Like, those guys are good options, but yeah, if you can get into the territory, even if it's just a marginal tier up, like Chase Brown by my rankings is a tier 1, 2, 3, 4 running back. I think a tier 4 running back, because I have like those top tier guys in a tier. Then I have like a mini tier of like mid RB1s, and then like the kind of high end RB1 or a high end RB2, low end RB1 kind of fringe guys there. And then Chase Brown's like right after that group. Even if you could just get inside the Genty, Javonte Williams, Kyron Williams, Saquon Barkley territory, or Derrick Henry territory, I'd be still willing to pay like a Chase Brown plus David Montgomery to do that. Just knowing that, like you said, 10 teams start 7, like literally all that matters is your starting lineup. So if you upgrade your starting lineup's projection by 2 to 3 points per game, and you also take away some of the headache decisions that you'd maybe have to make, rostering 3 to 4 running backs that are all going to project kind of similarly between Chase Brown, RJ Harvey when he gets the workload, Jaylen Warren when healthy, and even if David Montgomery got the workload because Gibbs got hurt, I still think he would project relatively similarly, maybe on the higher end of some of these guys too. It's not like he'd be like significantly higher than these guys.
Yeah, and in terms of the players I think you should keep ultimately, again, obviously depends on the value, but CeeDee Lamb, he's your lead upside. Like, you need him to be your hammer down the stretch in the playoffs, and I think that's the exact role he's going to play on your team. Like, I don't feel the need to try to down tier from him, and I also do think his value in relation to the other top hammers is maybe on the lower. So for me, I'm keeping CeeDee Lamb. Jonathan Taylor, pretty simple. He's the best player in fantasy unless somebody is willing to offer an overpay. Treat him as the 101, man. Like, you need legitimately 2 top 12 to 15 overall players in the rankings to really consider moving him. Emeka Egbuka, he's coming off a down game. I value him as a top 10 guy. I think that's kind of where it is. However, I do think there's top 5 upside in that Tampa Bay offense operating as the one. Drake May, again, unless you can get a Lamar Jackson, a Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, to me, he's still the preferred option, even with the bye week, to the rest of the field, because you're getting a rushing quarterback that has legitimately MVP level passing upside as well. And George Kittle as well, 20 plus points in back-to-back weeks. We got Brock Purdy back for the stretch run, legitimate tight end 1 overall upside.
Yeah. And on Egbuka, I've noticed this since Mike Evans went down with an injury, but being at the game yesterday, it was very apparent to me that defenses are now playing the Buccaneers passing game completely different than they used to play it, which was before 13, because he's a Hall of Famer, was commanding cloud coverage, linebacker shades over the middle to take away in breakers and that kind of thing. That's not happening anymore because 13's not on the field. And you know who's commanding that coverage? 2. So Emeka is now having to deal, A, with Christian Benford, who shadowed him basically on every single route unless he was in the slot, and B, shaded over the top safety looks and whatnot. There was like so many plays in the red zone where they were lining up, and I'm like, oh, this would be a good opportunity to throw like a, deep corner route to the pylon or something like that to Emeka and get him, the touchdown that he scored in the Patriots game basically was like kind of out of the side, pylon or whatever. And they couldn't do that because the second the ball was snapped, not only was Benford trying to jam him at the line of scrimmage, they were also rolling their free safety over the top of 2 because nobody on the Bucs could beat anybody on Buffalo in coverage. Like, Cade Otton had a bad game. Tez was kind of getting pushed around. Shepard was the only guy that was getting even any marketable separation whatsoever. And he's Sterling Shepard. He's not going to do that much damage.
I'm not going to lie, bro. At one point in that game, Josh Allen had negative fantasy points. And I was like, okay, maybe Bush was cooking, this Bucs defense kind of doing their thing. And then 6 touchdowns later, I'm just like, what the fuck happened? Like, genuinely.
Well, for starters, Jamel Dean going out of the game was a big loss. Tyke Smith missed about a quarter and a half because he got evaluated for a concussion. He was the only defensive back on our team that played any semblance of good defense. The other thing that was weird was in the first quarter, we were lighting Josh up, like blitzing the daylights out of him. And then in the second half, we're rushing 3 against Josh Allen when we don't have Max Crosby or Myles Garrett on our team. Like, we rush 3. That's all you got all day to pass. Like, we don't have good enough edge rushers for that.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me 3 times. Like, dude. Once you saw him rush 2 times inside the 10, we're not fucking spying him. We're letting him rush in a third. Like, what the fuck is going on?
That was kind of just sheerly Josh being Josh. But yeah, no, I mean, they did not play well enough to win the game. The defense played exactly like they played against the Patriots, which is like, you can't blow that coverage. You can't blow that assignment. And it results in a couple of big plays. And that was the difference in the game. Otherwise, you played pretty well on defense. If you just don't blow the Shavers touchdown, the coverage on the Shavers touchdown, if you don't blow the coverage on the tackles on Ty Johnson's touchdown, and if you don't have a fucking edge rusher covering James Cook, one of the most electric running backs in the league, out of the backfield, that's 3 touchdowns that wouldn't have happened. Josh Allen, the red zone, you give up a touchdown, okay, whatever. But like those blown coverages on, like, other than James Cook, like literal practice squad players, like, come on.
Josh Allen has 95 combined points on me in the last 2 meetings I played him in the Flock League.
Yeah,
95 points in the last 2 games.
He fries.
That's
I like the graphic.
2 games, by the way.
John, we will be redesigning the way the buy, sell, hold reports work, because right now they are purely trade advice, but we do kind of want to maybe get them a little bit more intricate than that and give you guys something that gives you a little bit more than just trade advice. Maybe kind of tells you what archetype of team you have and like your immediate plans and those type of things. So we are working behind the scenes to get that done for you guys this winter. And the plan will be that, like, when you guys sign up for an annual Mother Flocker and you get a team review, in addition to us kind of breaking down your team, we would also send you something like that so that you would have the opportunity to have like this, what the domain guys have the blueprints and the land guys have the playbooks. Ours are going to be different, obviously, but there's going to have some similar elements in there. Obviously, it's evaluating dynasty rosters, relatively the same thing most of the time. But yeah, that will be something that we improve upon. We should probably talk about the Jamar thing because Chase got suspended, obviously, and
keep his saliva to himself.
Yeah, and that's going to significantly help you and I in the Flock League, because now Avery will not have Jamar against Nathan, and Avery is both tied with me in record, and if you win tonight, we'll be tied with you in record. And not only that, he's ahead of us in the standings because he has more points for than we do. So Avery not having Jamar against Nathan next week, and then the week after that playing Mason, and then the week after that playing Badaki, who has a pretty good, is on a nice little heater right now. I don't know, man. Avery's kind of in hot water right now without Jamar next week.
And I guess we will spoil the matchup with Mason, because apparently everybody in the Flock League, when it involves them, likes just spoiling the matchup. So fuck it. I'm going to do the same. There's a reason why I'm wearing the CD jersey. There's a reason why I'm wearing the CD jersey. There's a reason why I have the Dactors in the background. Holy fuck. I can't not mumble my words. It's going to be a sweat. That's the best way I can describe it here. We're looking at about 45 points, 44.4 to be exact, from Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb. And it was always going to come down to this. It was always going to come down to my first round pick coming through when I needed him most. It was always going to come down to my fucking quarterback leading me over the victory line. If I lose, it's probably the end of my season. I'm probably not going to be in the Flock League playoffs. I'm probably going to be in the toilet bowl. If I win, I have every bit of the chance to go and secure my spot. I need to go 4-0. I need to finish 8-6. And I need to get into the dance, man. That's as simple as it is. We trolled in the midseason portion. We started 4-2, lost fucking 4 games in a row just to set up the epic comeback.
Yeah, no, this is going to be a big matchup for you. And as somebody who fell at the hands of Mason in a Monday night sweat last week, hopefully you don't have the luck that I have. So, I would like to see Mason go down, but at the same time, I wouldn't mind if your season was over, because maybe that'll make my week easier next week, because you won't be as motivated. But I would say good luck to you. I want to see Mason lose. So,
fucking guy. Every time I see that pick in the chat, just know I'm manifesting good shit. It could have been a way worse situation. I could have had less than 42% win equity. But I manifested that the Eagles offense would blow an egg last night. I manifested that Dallas Goedert and Saquon Barkley would score less than 15 PPR points. That's exactly what happened. I gave myself a breathing shot to be able to have it. He could have had 140, 145 points at this point. Keep him to 129. We take it as a win after Sunday Night Football.
Yeah, and quick update on my team, because it wasn't very exciting this week. Other than Bijan Robinson, nobody showed up. So, yeah, everybody on my team shit the bed except for Bijan. He scored literally 40% of my points, which was pretty devastating.
Dude, it was crazy because I messaged you. I'm like, dude, Bijan's doing his best Trevion Henderson impression. I literally didn't check the app at all. So I know in my head, I'm like, okay, Bijan's going off. Corey might have a decent chance.
Oh, no, the rest of my team was doing their best Jalen Tolbert impression, though. So,
I was so confused. Also, yeah, no, Tedero McMillan's a fucking monster.
The fact that he's like the 8th best player on my home league team feels pretty good.
Yeah, no, that's kind of nutty. I can't lie. Having Drake London and then losing him to the knee injury and then playing against that guy was not fun. Also, I will be on you know what watch if Tyler Lockett outscores George Pickens by 2 points. Like straight up, if that happens, that might be the most unfortunate freaking will I've ever seen.
Tyler Lockett would be a tough one.
Tyler Lockett,
low key, was kind of giving me some vibes on the wire this week when I was like deciding if I was going to play Walker or not. And I was like, dude, what I could do though, low key, is pick up Tyler Lockett. And if I have a sweat Monday night, I can offset the Genty points, is what I was thinking. Obviously, it didn't come to that because, hey, here's the bright side. I don't have a Monday night sweat this week because I already got annihilated before Monday night.
You know what I just took in? Sorry.
What?
Avery doesn't have Chase against Nathan of all people.
I know.
Bro, he's probably so pissed because all he wants to do is beat Nathan.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, how do you feel like if you're a Bijan manager, do you feel here's my answer to this question. I feel a lot worse about the Falcons offense without London than I do without Penix. I think London's far more important to the offense than Michael Penix is. I don't think there's that vast a difference between Kirk Cousins and Michael Penix as a quarterback. So I think that the problem actually is no London out there because we saw in Kirk Cousins' only start against Miami that Drake London was also not out there. And Drake London was pretty necessary to help this team get red zone opportunities because they don't really have great receivers outside of Drake London. I just don't think Michael Penix is good. Like, what evidence do we have that Michael Penix is a good quarterback? None. Like, maybe you think, okay, Kirk Cousins is a lot worse. Sure, I'll hear arguments for Kirk Cousins being dog shit, and maybe he's physically cooked, like you say here. But Michael Penix is like a bottom 5 NFL quarterback this year. Like, objectively, he's been one of the worst quarterbacks in the league.
Yeah. I don't know how you throw a $40 million contract and an 8th overall draft pick at the quarterback position in one offseason and still not have a quarterback. Still don't have a quarterback. Oh, on top of that, hey, guess what? The LA Rams, they're either in a position to get a guy like Arvell Reese or a Caleb Downs on this fucking team because you guys just don't know how to manage your freaking assets. Wait. No. Real talk, though. You could not have thought you were a top 5 Super Bowl contender at the time of the 2025 NFL draft. So if that's not the rationale, why are we trading, what was it, the 42nd overall pick plus a future unprotected 2026 first for what, the 24th pick in the draft or whatever the fuck it was for James Pierce?
Yeah.
They traded a 1 and 2 for a late 1, and now that one that they gave up is going to be probably 20 picks earlier.
Yeah, that's not great.
So dumb.
Passing grade wise, we're looking at Michael Penix out of 41 qualified quarterbacks. The only ones that have been worse: Dylan Gabriel, Carson Wentz, Jake Browning, Cam Ward, and JJ McCarthy.
Yeah, that's
not exactly like Geno Smith is one spot ahead. That's all you need to know. The Falcons do need a buy-sell hold report. And the answer is anytime anybody talks about the Falcons being good in the offseason, I'm going to say the same shit that I say every single year. How about you fucking do something against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers before you get projected ahead of us in Vegas win total?
Sebastian, I hope CD scores all 70 for you. How about that?
Yeah. Anyways, let's talk about Skull Razor's team review, and we got a couple other questions we got to get to here. Just moved to 9-1 and clinch playoffs. So, I mean, you're in very good shape by the sounds of it. 9-1 team, Drake May, Jonathan Taylor, Rico Dowdle, Amari Hampton coming back after the bye, presumably. I think that was asked in the chat. I do believe he'll be back, and once he's back and healthy, he's a top 20 to 15 overall asset, honestly. Like, I think he's going to be that good when he comes back. Maybe there's some, worry that he's not 100%, and then maybe you factor in he's more of like a top 36 asset because of that. But I think assuming we see the Amari Hampton that got injured going forward, that's what he's going to be, in my opinion.
I think there's a little more risk than you simply because that offensive line in LA is just a
Well, it was
complete and utter
terrible when he got hurt
catastrophe.
too.
Yeah, but
It's
now you don't
32nd
have.
in run blocking right now. It was 32nd when he got hurt.
It's even worse when you don't have any hope of Joe Alt coming back.
No, I know. The worry for
Um,
Hampton obviously is that he just has no running room, but I think he can get there as a receiver. Man, they were using him as a ton as a receiver, and the only worries you got really are: is he going to be the same level of efficiency because of the knee injury, and also can the offensive line create some holes? I think what we've seen from Vidal is kind of exactly what we might expect to see from Hampton, only a little bit better, because Vidal's been rather inconsistent, and a lot of it's been due to the fact that they can't block.
I will say though, he's going to have more of a receiving ceiling because Vidal, that's kind of been the limitation for the most part.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. He's probably going to have a higher receiving ceiling there. Is Hampton coming back? Yeah, I would expect Hampton to be back after the bye. By all reports, it sounds like that's going to be the case.
By the way, Corey, I have another parlay that I made this weekend. It was $10 to win 140. The last leg is just Cowboys -3.5.
There you go.
So let's hope.
Hopefully you get it. But yeah, looking at Skullraiser's team here, I mean, your receiver core is a little on the lighter side. Maybe he lost somebody to injury or whatever, but AJ Brown, Zay Flowers, your top two guys there. And then you're going to presumably be flexing running backs most of the time, like Amari and Hampton and Jalen Warren, when healthy, are probably going to be your flexes over like a Wan'Dale Robinson, Khalil Shakir type there.
And just declutter a lot of it, because realistically, if you can take two pieces, upgrade, specifically a wide receiver, I would say, like if you can really spend up and get a guy a wide receiver, can we take Wan'Dale Robinson plus
Jalen, I mean, since
Warren,
you're upgrading your flex too, I'd be willing to take
Rico.
Wan'Dale plus Jalen Warren and see what kind of asset I could go get.
Yeah, definitely try to get a better wide receiver, because relying upon AJ Brown as the one right now, or Zay Flowers the one, just too volatile for my liking. Realistically, I don't feel comfortable unless I have at least, I mean, what range of wide receiver? Like, would you feel comfortable even if George Pickens was your one? Like, I think I would need a little bit higher even.
I mean, I have AJ a little higher than you, but yeah, ideally I would want AJ as my 2, not as my 1.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. Overall, though, I mean, if you can make a consolidation move, there's a couple assets like a Tyler Algier. Maybe you stash a Jaden Reed. There's a couple assets there that you like. Blake Corum, Luther Burden, Byshell too, especially after that workload. He did get banged up in the game, but apparently, by all accounts, it sounds like he'll be good. I believe it was Jamal St. Cyr is the Jaguars reporter that basically said when he was asked about the ankle, Byshell basically confirmed he's feeling okay.
I don't buy a damn word of that, to be honest. Every time they ask a player after a game if their ankle's okay, it swells up later in the week.
Was it Jamal St. Cyr, I think his name is?
Yeah, I'm not saying that the reporting is wrong. I'm saying that he probably asked Tootin in the locker room after the game, and the ankle is going to swell up later in the week. The same exact thing happened with your boy.
Did anyone ask how the ankle? Yep, yeah, it said he's good. Okay, so like you could be right. Could be just be optimism, but the report that we got from Jamal is that Byshell said he's feeling okay. That's all.
Yeah, I hope he is, because I have him on my bench in my home league, and I would like to have him continued as a stash there. What the hell?
So that's how you get my attention. No.
Yeah. Twitter doc said high ankle mechanism. Yeah, which, by the way, the last time your boy CeeDee Lamb said when he had a high ankle sprain, he said he was going to play the next week, and it swelled up. That's kind of how high ankles work. I think when you're running on adrenaline, when you just played a football game, and they don't hurt nearly as much as they do on Wednesday when they have to do their first practice.
Yep, I'll reserve judgment for when the report comes out.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll try and go through some chat questions once we get through these here. Anything that you would suggest with this team? Because, I mean, it's unfortunate that he lost Sam Laporta here, so he's going to have to start Dallas Goedert going forward. I'm assuming Laporta's on like his IR or something, or maybe stashing him on his bench. I mean, if there's room for you to pick up a Colson Loveland to stash the upside, you can definitely go ahead and do that. But if you're just going to rely on Laporta coming back after 4 weeks, like we don't know how long Laporta is going to be out for, but he's going to be out for a minimum of 3 more games. So that's something a little bit sketchy for the fantasy season.
Do you prefer a guy like Loveland to a guy like Chuba in this context? I would.
I probably not, honestly. I mean, he's got Dowdle, so if he's like there's people out there that are like, I just want to roster my handcuff when there's a clear option. I think there is a very clear option with Rico Dowdle's handcuff. It is Chuba Hubbard, and he would be really good if Dowdle ever went down with an injury. I'm cool just rolling with Goddard for the time being. Like I don't think Loveland, like personally, I don't believe Loveland is going to burn you in such a way that you're going to be so mad that you held on to Goddard instead. Like, yes, I would ideally like to stash Loveland for another couple games, but it is crystal clear that he's not going to be the clear cut alpha starting tight end at this point in time. Like, because we got another game in which him and Cole Kmet were splitting some routes here. Like, I think what was the exact?
Cole Kmet had involvement.
58% of the snaps. Of the routes for Cole Kmet actually ran more routes than Loveland did this week.
Cole Kmet actually, I believe, led them in receiving this week. Like, so he was involved.
Which has been kind of my concern with Loveland for a while now, is that, like, ideally, should he be doing that? No, but Ben Johnson, for whatever reason, seems to like what Cole Kmet brings to the table in certain looks, certain packages, certain plays.
Yeah. Again, like there is an inevitable factor there, which is why I'm still optimistic, but it's not like I'm going to say like, okay, he should be a top 6 tight end. Like I was willing to put him at. Obviously I've lowered him since then. Like at this point with how good Travis Kelce's been, you can't consider even remotely saying that he's above him.
Not really. He's in the conversation
like after that,
of like the Fannons and the Pitts,
Goddard,
and like
Fannin,
those type
Pitts.
of guys. I mean, Goddard to me is even above that territory given how he's performed lately.
Yeah, I mean, like that's the tier for me, 8 through 13. AJ Barner kind of on the outside looking in there. Hunter Henry. I mean, I guess TJ Hawkinson. Like,
I mean, those guys are probably a tier behind the ones.
Those guys definitely are.
But
overall, though, I mean, like you're in a pretty good spot. I would definitely want to strengthen the wide receiver core, but aside from that, the team has no holes. Running back, you're absolutely loaded from a depth perspective. Drake May, obviously a quarterback. Tight end, you're feeling decent.
Yeah, like this guy's got Marv in addition to Rasheed and Chase. Maybe he'd be willing to move off of somebody like that. You could use Wandale plus to get up to Harrison. This guy's BTJ. I mean, with BTJ's underperformance this year, it's possible you could get a really cheap buying window on him, potentially. Looking at this guy's team, I mean, he's got JMO and Pittman. Like Pittman's coming off a bye, kind of out of sight, out of mind. You could maybe take a swing on a guy like him. Just kind of throwing out names there just because the receiver position is really your only weakness, but you're 9-1. You have the opportunity to buy like that. That's the other thing too, because you're 9-1, you have the opportunity to buy on some players maybe that other people wouldn't want to be buying on. Amari and Hampton obviously is already on your roster, but guys like Bucky Irving, Chris Godwin, Brandon Ayuk, you could even just take dart throws on them. Like they might even be on the waiver wire in some, like they're not on the waiver wire, I don't think in this league, but in some, throw them into the back of the trade just to kind of give you a sweetener to the deal, a Jaden Reed type even too. Those guys are not terrible options for you to specifically swing on because you're 9-1. I wouldn't recommend that to everybody's team, but because you're 9-1, it kind of does make sense that you take some upside swings there as well. We could probably move on to the questions that we have here. Ralph has a question. Sean Tucker, an early to mid first in 2026 for 2 early to mid first. Okay, hold on. I think he messaged me separately on what exactly is going on.
Okay. I was about to tweak. I'm like, fuck no. What the fuck?
Okay, so we got to talk to the devs about this because people keep saying that the calculator and this area is not like working. He said trade is messed up. I feel like I've done a good job collecting value with my 1-year punt / rebuild. Is this a good cash in of some of my assets based on the context of my team? And he said I would be trading a late first this year, a mid first next year, and the 201 for the 102 and 302. Sean Tucker is not involved. Okay, that's weird that Sean Tucker's in there. Okay, so he'd be getting the 102 and 302 in 2026 for a mid to late 1 next year, a late first this year, and the 201. So he's essentially trading up in the first round with 2 mid to late projected picks in 2026, all the way up to 102. And he's giving up the 201 to go down to the 302, essentially.
Sorry.
1 mid to late 1 this year, 1 late 1 this year, up to 102. And he's also giving up the 201 and going down to the 302. So he's paying up for like Jeremiah Love or maybe QB1 or
I just think that's too early to tell, man.
Receiver 1 is.
It's just too early to tell, in my opinion. Like there's just so much context. So like, we don't know what that mid first is going to look like at this point. Like what if that ends up being, okay, Carnell Tate's the 105 to the 106 in this class, and you basically paid a mid first plus upgrading a 302 to a 201 to get that done.
The mid to late first is next year. This one, he said, I would be trading a late first this year. So it's a late 1, a mid to late 1 next year, and the 201 this year.
Again, too early to make a move like that, especially knowing just how much hype the 2027 class is getting.
Yeah. Well, and also like if it's your pick, like you never know. Yeah. Sometimes those pick, he said, yeah, it's mid to late. I would say like if this were for 101, I'd be more willing to do it, but I don't exactly know what the tier break value wise is going to be. I think by the time we look back on this trade question in April or May, like we might be like, yeah, that's a pretty fair offer for QB1 or Jeremiah Love or whoever wide receiver one ends up being, whether it's Carnell Tate or Mekhi Lemon or Jordan Tyson or whatever. Like it, I would say for now, that's probably something I wouldn't do at the moment. I think you have time to make this deal at a later point.
Yeah, and even if it was a second late first this year, just do it like at a later date, like when there's more concrete information, when we've gone through the cycles about watching these guys' tapes, understanding prospect profiles. Like it's just, to me, it's way too soon doing it in November, knowing that you're taking a gamble here, right? Like there's a real possibility that, I mean, like there's already guys emerging. Like I said, like even if it's the 107 and the 112 or whatever, two mid to late ones this year, I think that was said,
and
right?
honestly, just what I know about this class and the prospect model and stuff, I think more so than most other years, I don't think there's going to be a large difference between the 102 and the 107 this year. Like normally there's like a pretty large difference between those types of assets, and there's going to be a difference for sure. But I think this year more than most other years, like those top 3 to 4 wide receivers are going to blend together and people are going to have their preferences. Those, like, unless we get one first round quarterback, like I do think there's going to be like 1, 2, maybe 3 first round quarterbacks that give you an opportunity that if you're picking 107, 108, you can still get a high draft capital QB or high end wide receiver or high draft capital running back. I don't think it's as clear cut as like, you know, in 2024, we were like, yeah, Drake May, Caleb Williams, those were the guys that we were after. Brock Bowers, those type of guys we were after. So I think this trade's a little premature. I don't think it's necessarily bad value. I just think as of now, I probably would make the deal.
Yeah, I would agree. This deal though, Tyler Algier plus Kelsey in exchange for Gainwell, Warren, and Pearsall. Well, I need to know who your tight end is first.
He said I have Gadsden.
If you have Gadsden, take this deal every single time, all day.
Yeah, Sutton struggling. Which tight end in 12? I mean, I guess he's asking which tight end do I hold on to between the two of them.
I would still prefer Gadsden rest of the season to Kelsey, but I do like Kelsey. Get him out.
I think it's probably a toss-up for me. Like, whatever you're looking for. Are you looking for a spike week guy? I think Gadsden's your guy there. Are you looking for somebody who's going to be a little bit more consistent, but has a little bit more like age concern and whatnot?
Well,
I think it's possible that Gadsden is the better option, but it wouldn't shock me if Kelsey outscored him.
Even if Gadsden was in the deal, I think I would do it, to be honest.
Yeah, like I mean, Travis has 2
20
games in the last 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Like he's been really good. Like I can't say with certainty that Gadsden's going to outscore him the rest of the season.
Yeah, I don't think you're outrageous to say that. They're in the same tier for me.
Yeah, like I mean, Gadsden's got 4.3 and 6.1 points the last 2 games. Like he's been he's come back down to earth a little bit.
I mean, he got hurt in one of them.
He did, yeah. I think this is a relatively even-ish deal. I just think I prefer the upside of Warren, Pearsall, and Gainwell here, especially knowing
even if that was Gadsden instead of Kelsey, I would do the deal.
Yeah, for sure. And Warren, it sounds like he was more or less okay, but Gainwell,
Odunze.
Yeah, definitely going to be a decent option on the wire if he is not okay. And yeah, I would roll for Rome as well. I'm going to probably move ETN up a little bit though. He's looked a lot better coming out of the bye, and if Tootin's just a little bit banged up.
So like, wait until we get the Tootin news because Tootin literally had more carries than them this week.
Yeah,
even when the game was competitive.
That's not what I read on Twitter. I saw people showing the charts of when the game was competitive.
Even in the first quarter, they were basically splitting snaps.
I mean, he played 32% of the snaps to ETN's 51%. And this was a game environment in which they blew the fucking doors off of the Chargers.
No, I'm just saying early on in the game, though, they were splitting time. Like even in the first night.
Dude, ETN's been an RB1 every week since the bye.
Let me pull it up. I sent a picture in chat. That's why I know. Tootin got 6 of the first 9 carries out of the backfield.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's definitely more. That's new usage compared to what it had been in prior weeks for sure. I still think this is closer than my rankings indicate for me. I probably need to move ETN up about 5 to 10 spots, but I would still prefer Rome in that situation. Pierre has listed here.
Look at this guy.
Is Tootin healthy going into next week?
He said he's good, but we'll wait on the
docs are saying high ankle mechanism. I would say no, probably.
I mean, he was asked by I mean, he was asked by a
Danny,
reporter and he said he's good.
every
Let's just wait on the report. That's all I'm saying.
I will. But if the Twitter docs think it's a high ankle mechanism and the player's saying, I'm fine, I'm good to go, I frankly don't buy a damn word of what Tootin says because it's going to swell and he's not going to practice this week.
It said a high ankle mechanism and it never said a high ankle sprain. Let's just wait and see until we have more information. It could be a midfoot sprain, which people play through.
Judkins and Jefferson for Devon Achane. I'm paying this every day of the week.
Yeah, Achane's a league winner right now, bro.
Yeah, I have him at 10 overall, and frankly, I think I got to move him up higher than that.
You're not wrong. I just think there's frankly 10 players that matter. He's at 9 for me. Honestly.
Yeah, I think who do I have ranked ahead of him that I need to move him ahead of?
You have to move him over Amonra and stuff like that.
It's hard to say for sure I would do this because this player is playing tonight, but I do think in a vacuum, I'd probably rather have Devon Achane than CeeDee Lamb at this moment in time. And we'll see what happens tonight. I would definitely put him over Amonra as well.
I would. Over Amonra. I have Lamb at 7.
Achane versus Jamar is a real question mark for me, legitimately.
Actually, I got to move Jamar down. I'm going to move Jamar down to 9 since he has the suspension because, quite frankly, they are all that close. And I'm also... Am I crazy if I just put JT in his own tier and then make 8 players in tier 2?
I have JT in his own tier at 1, and then I have Puka, Bijan, Gibbs, JSN from 2 to 5, all in a tier together.
Yeah, I have 2 through 9 kind of in a tier right now just because I can see everybody in here peddling weeks.
And McCaffrey. McCaffrey's in that tier for me as well.
Yeah, McCaffrey as well.
But yeah, Puka is at 2, Bijan at 3, Gibbs at 4, JSN at 5, and McCaffrey at 6. That's the those are the also very elite assets. They're not JT.
Yeah. I have Puka at 2, JSN at 3, McCaffrey at 4, Bijan at 5, 6 Lamb, 7 Gibbs, 8 Achane, 9 Chase because of the suspension.
Yeah, I have Achane at 7 now. I moved him up ahead of Chase, St. Brown, and Lamb.
Fair enough. I mean, he's been a hammer. He's
just an absolute fucking monster, man. He's been so good.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's okay. It sounds like he was fine with the back thing that he was dealing with.
I have CMC at 4 overall. I think he's a stud. I also think JSN and Puka are also studs, 22 plus point per game performers. And I do think because of Christian McCaffrey's risk, you got to bake it in a little bit. I don't have Bijan ahead of McCaffrey. He's in
the tier of the player 2 overall, which means that he would be ranked as high as 2.
Mason, I have McCaffrey ahead of Bijan. I assume this directed at Corey.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. You want to say that you'd rank. Bijan is 23 years old. He's way less injury risk than Christian McCaffrey. I realize that's the only thing keeping them apart, but we're talking about elite assets here. That's the only tiebreaker I have.
Yeah, I mean, full transparency, McCaffrey's still my RB2. It's not like I have him lower than that, but
yeah, I have him. He's RB3 for me. He's right behind him.
What are you talking about?
CMC also has a bye too.
Why?
Injury
because
risk doesn't matter at this point.
Wait. I'm high as fuck because I have McCaffrey at 4 overall and RB2. What the fuck does this even mean?
I don't know.
I have him higher than Corey, but I'm the highest fuck one.
Yeah, apparently.
It makes no sense.
Yeah, CMC also does still have his bye, which is a factor.
That's actually a good point, actually. With that being said, that's enough to move him down to 4. I'm not going to move him lower than that.
Yeah, I'll hear out. 26 points per game is 26 points per game. He's at 4 for me. I had him at 5 or 6. I can't remember what I said before, but yeah, he's a monster. Obviously, he's the best fantasy running back who's ever lived. But he literally is one minor tweak of a ankle or hamstring away from not playing the rest of the year. That I trust Bijan, Gibbs, and those guys to play through injury. I do not trust Christian McCaffrey to. That's the difference. Yeah. And if you don't believe me, ask Josh Jacobs. Shit happens. You get injured when you're older.
But yeah. Yeah, no, I'm not, but that's cool.
You're just high in general. Okay, I saw Dylan say something about Ladd. Is he still a top 12 to 15 receiver? Yeah, he still is. Justin Herbert had a bad game.
Where do I have him?
He's a fringe top 15 guy. I think I have him at 15, but yeah, he's still a guy that I feel he's a week removed from 22 fantasy points.
I got to move him down, but I'm not going to move him out of the top 16. I'm going to have him at 16 overall.
It's immediately ahead of him.
Adams. I mean, I got to move Devontae Smith down a little bit too. And I got to move T. Higgins up.
Yeah, I mean, I actually have him at 12. 16. I thought I'm at 15. I am at 12, McConkey.
16. I moved Devontae down a little bit. Just because the Eagles passing offense did have a little bit of concern. last night, I think. I don't know. What do you think of the Eagles passing offense? I thought that it was a little bit
Devontae
concerning.
Smith. Sorry, I thought you were talking about Devontae Adams.
No,
Yeah, I mean,
Devontae Adams
I have Smith at 17, so I have him below. I have Ladd one spot ahead of McConkey, one spot ahead of Pickens, T. Higgins, Jalen Waddle, Rome Odunze, and Smitty. That's like the territory I have McConkey, and he's the start of that tier for me.
Yeah. Also, you're not wrong, Scribbles. But I moved him up like 1 or 2 spots, and B, I mean, volume is volume. They're going to throw the ball 40 to 45 times.
Yeah. Anyways, this trade right here, he said I also have Hampton. Okay, so Travis Etienne, Derrick Henry, Keenan Allen, Bijan, and Jameson Williams. Come on.
Yeah.
Now. Easy claps. Arthur literally just sent me this offer and don't give a flock, so this is why he's sending me this.
Are they early to mid ones?
They are my ones, so mid to late ones most likely. I think my team is in a playoff spot currently.
Which league is this?
Don't give a flock, I think.
Isn't your team like stacked in that league?
Let me take a look. Let me make sure this is the right league.
I mean, if you're making that deal with them, your
don't give a flock.
Stacked.
Yes, I am 8-2, but I lost this week, so I'm 8-3.
So they're probably going to be like 110 to 112 picks.
I mean, the 26 one probably, but the 27 one, it's not like my team is like goated like long term necessarily.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a reasonable offer. Did you send it to him or did he send it to you?
He sent it to me because I obviously lost. I lost Sam Laporta to injury. I mean, I'm not like too worried about it because I have. First of all, it's a best ball league, so best ball leagues are best ball leagues. Right? Like you can.
I mean, just attach some nonsense on it then. If you're going to give up 2 1s, attach some bullshit like players with immediate appeal then.
Yeah, so like I am pretty weak at tight end. Like I'm looking at my team right now, and it does kind of look yikes for me in terms of he also added.
What type of bullshit depth can he add to it? Like
there's also a 3 on my side as well that it doesn't show here.
But like what type of bullshit depth can you add to it? Like what type of like
he doesn't really have any competitive assets other than Justin Jefferson.
Oh, never mind then.
Like his whole team is just stripped to the bones, and all he has is picks. Like he has McConkey and Jefferson, and like the rest of his other pieces are like Tyler Algier and shit. Like
you could throw Algier on the package. Just
I mean, I just don't. I could, yeah, if I was actually willing to do the trade, which I don't really feel like doing at the moment. I think I can get by knowing my record until Laporta's back. I don't want to give up 2 first-round picks for a tight end. To be honest,
you're telling me in the fucking Mickey Mouse League, I'm gonna be 10-1 after this week. And I left Laporta in the lineup with the IR spot and still was the highest scoring team in the league this week.
Yeah.
I just left I left fucking Laporta in there.
Oh, tough. Yeah. I mean, also, in a vacuum, for what it's worth, in a vacuum, I think this is a pretty decent offer. I just don't really want to do it because Arthur, you know my thoughts on tight end. And I would do like Sam Laporta, a 1 and something else. I don't think I can do 2 1s, which I think that's what you need for Trey McBride because that's what Trey McBride is worth. And I just don't really want to go up and get Trey McBride personally.
Yeah. Also, let me address this PCL. For those of you that are curious in terms of the Drake London recovery time, the reported times, if it's a grade 1 PCL strain, usually is about a 2 to 3 week recovery. If it is a grade 2, you're looking at a 4 to 6 week recovery, a la the Brock Bowers, Ricky Pearsall injury from earlier this year.
Yeah.
Which is not good. If it is a grade 2, he's more than likely, if not out for the season, you're maybe lucky getting him back semifinal or final of your championship.
Yeah. You know what drives me nuts too? In my home league, the one guy that like whose team I'm like quite scared of, which is Lucas's team. He traded Drake London and Aronde Gadsden for Justin Jefferson a week ago. And I was like, or 2 weeks ago, sorry. And I was like, oh, dude, he got hosed in that trade. Like Drake London and Gadsden for Justin Jefferson.
Wasn't it with, what's his face?
Riley.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, what a terrible trade for Lucas. His team got marginally worse now, at least. And now London's like going to be out for a significant time. And had he just had London on his team, like, tough.
Yeah. Also Scribbles, this is my inkling as well. I will say
they wouldn't always put him on IR right away, though. If they could still put him on IR before tomorrow or Wednesday, before they know for sure.
Hopefully, for our sake, it's more optimistic projection because I have Drake London in my home league. I told you about the impossible losing scenario. If somehow happens, I'll be pissed. But if Tyler Lockett outscores George Pickens by 2, I'll be upset. If that doesn't happen, if I'm able to hold on, we're going to 6-5. The team's looking good. Drake London injury hurts, but we still have guys like, Odunze, Adams, guys like that, a wide receiver, Barkley, et cetera, at running back. Like we can make buys, just losing a guy like London. I mean, the guy's been an automatic 20 plus points per game this year, pretty much.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, I know the Bucky situation's been really bullshit, and same with Pearsall too.
Yeah, 756.
Okay. Yeah. Drake London, I'm just going to pretend for E's sake that this is a mid to late first, because for whatever reason, the early to mid first have just been glitching. Yeah. I'm literally messaging the devs right now because
if it's an early to mid, you take the Bucky in the early to mid side. If it's a mid to late,
I think it's fair if it's a mid to late, but
yeah,
if you need a running back, I think it's probably a decent deal to make.
That's a question.
Bucky, I would venture a guess to say that Bucky is going to be a game time decision this week. Like that's what it'll come down to, like him being like,
take it.
Yeah, if it's an early to mid first, I would take it. Bucky's going to be probably a game time decision this week if I had to guess. And then, sorry, I got to log out and log back in. If the Bucks get him with a full practice before Thursday, he'll be a good to go. I think he practiced in limited capacity all last week. If he goes like limited this Wednesday and then full on Thursday, I would be like, yeah, he's probably going to play. But it wouldn't totally shock me if they're like, he needs one more week and he's back for week 13 against the Cardinals, because our stretch of our schedule is going to get a lot easier. It's just that we could very much use Bucky Irving against the Rams, as same with Chris Godwin as well.
Just note, by the way, wish they had super chat. This site is basically our super chat.
The problem is the shoulder. The foot has not been an issue for weeks. The foot's totally fine. He shed his walking boot in like week 7. Like he could have, the reason he didn't get put on IR is because they thought the foot was the major issue, and the foot would have, like, he would have only missed 2 or 3 games with that midfoot sprain. Like that's not a major injury. The problem is, the shoulder injury was the one that kind of his back of his shoulder kind of like subbluxed out of its fucking socket or whatever. So he needs to be able to take contact, which they're going to probably test this week, I would imagine, at practice. And I would put it at like a 50-50 shot he plays this week, but I'd say there's like a 75-80% chance he plays week 13.
Hey, Corey, what about me taking you down in the FSE Listener League, going to 11-0?
Yeah, I mean, my team was bad. Hey, Corey Van lost, so we're still keeping pace.
Dude's becoming the avid Corey Van hater in this league because you have his one.
Yeah, Emmitt Smith may have been built a little bit different than Bucky. Bucky's also like 195 soaking wet.
Yeah. Also, full transparency. Like, what is it with the appeal, the fun, like when you own someone else's pick, like being able to root on their downfall in the league?
Oh, it's electric.
It's electric. You see somebody lose and they go further and further down in the standings. You're just like,
yeah. 8 crazy nights here. Jalen Hurts or Jalen Warren. I'll take Hurts here. I think he's more valuable to your team than RB2.
Think you got to. Omar Hampton, top 18-ish level running back for us.
I have him high. I moved him up a little bit because we are getting some positive reports saying that he should probably be back. He's my RB14 right now.
Yeah, I mean, like, who do you have him ahead of? Like, do you have him?
I have him one spot ahead of Chase Brown, Trevion Henderson, Breece Hall, and Quinshon Judkins.
Okay, I moved him to 15. I have him one spot ahead of Bucky.
Yeah. Do I trade London and Ferguson for Dowdle?
No.
I like, part of me wants to say you dodge a bullet if London is put on IR. But I just don't think I want to do that trade without more information.
Yeah, sorry. I'm fucking so tired.
Do we trust Hampton behind that O-line? I trust Hampton because he's fast, big, catches the football. He has Justin Herbert playing quarterback. Do I trust him against that O-line? Hell no. But he'll get volume and he'll have opportunities to score fantasy points. Obviously, Hampton's rookie season would have gone a lot different if Rashawn Slater and Joe All were healthy the whole year.
Ooh, there's a video of Dak wearing the Jays. Okay, he dropping 25 fantasy points.
What's up, sorry?
I said there's a video of Dak stretching with some Jays on. He's dropping 25 plus fantasy points. Let's go.
Yeah, I hope so. Hopefully. Vidal is the new RB1. Come on now. No, he's not. Vidal was nothing until like 3-4 weeks ago. Like, Vidal will maybe get 5 to 10 touches a game maximum with Amari Hampton on the field. I actually didn't draft a single eliminator this year. I only did one last year. It's not really my contest. I don't know why. I've never really gotten into it.
Do I have any? No, I do not.
I prefer to draft for like the late season upside as opposed to like drafting for an early season team. To me, just kind of feels sexless. But it is like really strategic, of course. But I just don't. I don't really vibe with that contest. I'm much more into the other ones.
You don't indulge.
Yeah, I remember being the 6th seed in the FSC playoffs and winning the championship, making Bush's picks better than knocking people out.
Don't remind me. This guy had like every rostered quarterback off the waiver wire, and because we had a trade deadline in that league, I had no way of patching my quarterback too because my quarterback was hurt.
I do remember getting like the 107 and 109 because Nate knocked them out of the playoffs.
Oh, yeah. One of them was Flet's pick, right?
Yeah. One of them was Flet's pick, and then the other one was Garrett's, I think.
What do I need to be cheering for tonight to see Mason go down? About 45 plus combined DAC plus CD Lamb points, pretty much. 45 PPR. Should be a nail biter. I actually have 3 separate leagues that are literally coming down to the Dak Lamb stack for me performing. I have them in every single league. Like everybody knew that was coming, but
I'm actually impressed it's not like 8. I'm surprised. I only have 3 leagues in which I have my favorite 2 players in the league.
Let me correct. It's 3 of my 4 redraft leagues. I actually haven't looked at the Dynasty ones.
Well, the Dynasty ones also have the same thing.
Probably.
I want your opinion on Penix being out. Is London even going to be what he was with Cousins? I mean, London was a top 10 receiver, and Cousins started most of the year last year.
Yeah, but is he going to be a 20-plus point per gamer potentially?
I mean,
he
probably
looked like he was on the verge
of
being that.
I guess maybe I'm like the only person on earth that still thinks Kirk Cousins is probably going to be just as good as he was last year.
I don't disagree. Now, by the way, I said 20-plus points per game. He was at about 19 points per game prior to Penix going down, prior to him getting hurt. And I do think that connection was trending out upward. I wouldn't be at all shocked if like things in the status quo didn't change for London. We could have been looking at like a legitimate 21, 22 point per game stretch on the stretch. I don't think he's going to get to that level, but can he still be at about, a 16 and a half, 17 plus point per game score?
That's what he produced last year with Cousins, and Mooney was really good last year, and Mooney is a non-factor right now.
Yeah, he's a cone, bro. That guy stinks.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think London can be like, assuming this, let's say this is a 1 to 2 week injury or whatever. It's like a grade 1 PCL sprain. It's the Puka injury or whatever from earlier this year, where all he missed was the one London game, and then he went on bye. I think that we're looking at Drake London being still a back-end wide receiver 1, assuming he's like healthy enough to play. Like if it's a grade 2 and he tries to play through it, then maybe that changes things. But I think Kirk will be good enough. Like he's not going to be a stud, but like you heard what I said earlier, right? Like Michael Penix per PFF has been the 36th best quarterback in the league this year. Like he's not been good. Like, it's not like we're going from a great, awesome quarterback to Kirk Cousins. Like Kirk Cousins, for my money, might like any given Sunday still be better than Michael Penix. I know he has not played well in Atlanta so far, but he's had a couple of decent games, and it wouldn't shock me if he rips off a couple vintage Kirk Cousins fucking heaters.
Dylan, not tonight. I'm exhausted. Honestly, I can't do a team review right now.
Yeah, no,
I just want to vibe out.
Let's. I got a couple underdog picks that I can talk about while we getting ready for the game to start here. So again, if you guys do want the underdog picks, you can get them on the YouTube Shorts. I've been dropping them Mondays and Thursdays and Sundays, and Danny's been dropping his Saturday nights as well. Of course, my TikTok right now, Underdog's trying to help me get it back. Hopefully it gets back at some point, but these are also on the Instagram, so make sure you guys are following over there.
I got one flagged the other day, by the way, for like content that was whatever.
Regulated goods, probably.
Let me see exactly what the notification said. But I always upload the running back and the wide receiver picks, right? Let me see here. I don't want to add my Facebook friends. No, actually, community guidelines violation.
Yeah, if you click what on the violation does it say? You click on the violation. If you
received a strike on your account for violating our community guidelines. Wow. For frauds and scams.
Oh, you're getting different ones than me.
What a fucking joke.
No, Ryland, I'm not even kidding you. TikTok just decided one day that promoting Underdog is no longer allowed. Like, no warning whatsoever. So the fellas, big TikTok account, a couple of other Will, fuck, I forget what his last name is. Apologies, Will, if you're listening to this, but Will on Twitter. He has like a pretty decent sized TikTok following as well. I think 65, 70K. Stapier, I think his name is.
Which
Will Stapier, I think his name is. I was DMing with him, and he said his account got banned like 3 times already too.
Dude, my account legitimately got a strike.
Yeah, Danny, I can't even log into my account. My account is banned, and it has 55,000 followers, and I spent 5 years building the fucking thing. Like, I am livid with TikTok right now because they gave us no warning. And not only did they give us no warning, they're flagging my old ones. That's how I got banned. I did not get banned posting a new one. They flagged one of my old TikToks.
They're pissing me off because, if that happened to you, and I got a small fucking TikTok. I literally just upload my pics there. That's what I've been using it for. And they're fucking getting me for frauds and scams.
Well, maybe that's why that's what you're getting caught for, and not like promotion of regulated goods or whatever, which is so unclear because it says absolutely nothing about promoting affiliate codes for Underdog and stuff. And if you go on, like, I don't want to call it any specific creators, but there are some
they do it way worse than us.
There are very large TikTok accounts that are objectively, like, their TikToks start with, if you guys want to turn $10 into $1,000, you got to tail these pics right now. Like,
makes no
how the fuck
sense.
is that not getting flagged?
No, that shit's actually pissing me off. Like,
it's BS, man. Again, the saving grace is that Underdog assured me that they can probably help get the account back, because this has happened to a couple partners of theirs already, so they're experienced with this process. But hopefully I can get the account back, because even if I can't post Underdog pics there anymore, like, I literally spent 5 fucking years building that thing. So I will be cheesed if I cannot get it back. But the pics that we have today.
Sorry, I'm trying to understand how we get flagged for that bullshit. But like you said, I've seen TikToks with 10 times fucking worse on their pages. Like, it goes to show you, it's just they're
probably getting flags too, for what it's worth. Like, they're just probably not getting strikes, or maybe they're like, they have some kind of connection where they're able to circumvent the rules or whatever. But like, TikTok I never had an issue with this until 2 months ago. So they randomly just decided to change their community guidelines, maybe for the better. Like, there's probably TikTok accounts out there that are pretty fucking predatory and like getting people to sign up on a bunch of different crazy gambling sites or whatever, but there's no clarity in what you are and aren't allowed to do. And that's my issue with it, is it doesn't tell you at all what your violation is. And I've tested random things, and it just didn't say shit about anything. So, any chance we get an updated Dynasty video on rookies, how confident we are going forward? Yeah, this is a good topic for a Dynasty video. Maybe like a rookie review or something of the 2025 class.
Yeah, or maybe like a redraft of it.
Yeah, well, we could kind of do the same thing, like redraft the class and then also kind of review how they're doing so far and what we think of them going forward. But yeah, these are the picks I'm rolling with tonight. Genty higher than 65.5 rushing yards. I mean, the Cowboys can't stop the run, specifically up the A and B gap. They're 6th highest in success rate allowed. And the Raiders run in between the A and B gap, 2nd most in the entire league. Tyler Lockett higher than 26.5 receiving yards, 6 targets last week. He's got a connection with Geno, and the Cowboys are really dog shit against the pass. And then Jake Ferguson, in 6 straight games, he had crossed this fantasy point total up until the 2 weeks leading into the bye. So in 6 of his last 8 games, he's hit this total, and I do think he has a very good chance of finding the end zone tonight. So Jake Ferguson is the other pick that I'm rolling with tonight. And of course, as always, if you guys want to tail those, you can use the promo code FSE, and new customers can play 5, get 100 on their first play. And there's also a CeeDee Lamb gimme pick for new customers as well. Worst pick I've ever made. What is Nick saying here? Caleb. Oh yeah, Caleb Johnson's been pretty garbage. I can't lie. Guy's been urine.
Also, damn, Kenneth Murray starting at middle linebacker. Bump up Ashton Genty in your rankings.
Yeah, I mean, thankfully we never would have told you to do that. So we can't take the blame on that. That one.
No, that might be the worst experience that I've ever seen in my life. Could you imagine knowing that you took Caleb Johnson over Emeka Egbuka?
Yeah. I think Caleb Johnson was my 112 or 201, I want to say. Something like that. I think I had him right in the territory with, I can't remember if I had him ahead or after Dart, but it was also all the same tier, so that if you were picking 112 or 201 and you're like, I need a quarterback, I would have picked Dart over Caleb. In that situation. So y'all think there's a chance Javonte drops less than 13? I I would say that you got probably a 30% chance of that happening. I think Javante's probably going to get some work done in this one.
Yeah. Hopefully it all happens through the passing game.
Oh, you traded a top 6, like not at the time, but you traded a first for Caleb Johnson before the season started, and that first is a top 6 first now. Oof. That sucks.
Oh no.
I took rookie Clyde Edwards-Helaire over a prime Alvin Kamara. Yeah, that sucks too.
Did you see the tweet about Charvarius Ward?
No, what happened?
Apparently he posted on his story a picture of his daughter and basically said like, fuck football, fuck money, fuck fame. Don't care for any of it. Lost without my baby. So like his baby might have passed away.
Oh, geez. Like an infant or
infant child.
Geez.
Yeah.
That's brutal.
Thoughts and prayers for Charvarius and his family. That's fucked up. If Brock's in here, by the way, Brock, obviously a Colts fan. Like, if you have any insight on that, you can let us know.
Yeah, well, the same thing happened with Shaq. I remember Shaq Barrett had the same thing happen a few years ago with the Bucs.
Yeah, it's just fucked.
Stafford and Goff in the starting lineup. I'm assuming this is for next week. So
I'm assuming so.
Deez, if you're in here and you want us to just wait to answer this on until Thursday, we can. Feel free to let me know because I don't even know the matchups off the top of my head going into the following week game here. Rome, yeah, that's definitely fine there. Kittle is obviously an every week starter. Kamara plays the Falcons, that I do know. I would probably roll with Kamara over Harvey is on a bye, so he won't be active for that. So yeah, Kamara makes sense. And then Stafford. Who do the Rams play this week? Oh, they played Bucs. And then who do the Lions play this week?
I mean, you probably go to Stafford regardless, right?
Yeah, I mean, they're at home. Yeah, the Lions play the Giants at home.
Hear me out, though. That's a running back script if I've ever heard of one.
I mean, it is, but like they're just going to move the ball at will. And I could like the Lions are the type of team that, yes, it's a running back script, but they'll literally still keep throwing in the fourth quarter. Like they'll throw 50 on the board just for shits and gigs.
Difference for me, pressure back with the Tampa Bay offense, very, very big pass funnel with the Tampa Bay defense. I would go Stafford.
I mean, not really. We've been pretty balanced this year.
Except for against Josh Allen.
Like I said, the only problem against Josh Allen was that we broke a couple coverages. Like otherwise, we did a pretty good job against him. He had 2 interceptions and only passed for like 170 yards or something like that. Other than those big completions.
I mean,
and one of them was a 65-yard screen pass to fucking Ty Johnson.
I mean, I will trust Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams.
I will too. I actually just think that Goff is probably the better play.
I'd go Staff.
But yeah, those guys will probably end up being like really close in my rankings anyways. But yeah, that's how I'd answer that now. Again, that could change later in the week once I get more into the matchup details or whatever. But really early on. Anyways, we could get into the game here. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Let's wish Danny good luck against Mason here. I unfortunately was not able to take down Mason last week. Ergo, you guys saw me singing your national anthem, the Star Spangled Banner. Got some good feedback on that. Some people were like impressed that I wasn't horrendous at singing, and I took it seriously because we all know Mason would have just like phoned it in.
Trolled it.
If he had to sing an anthem. But yeah, appreciate you guys for that. And good luck to you, Danny. And hopefully you win this week, because if you don't win this week, I feel like that boomerang's gonna swing back around, and maybe you'll beat me next week, which will suck.
Hopefully, I win this week. I'd rather win the next 4 weeks, clinch my playoff spot, and then see you in there at the 6th seed, and hopefully.
If you beat me next week, I will drop to 5-7, and I might not be in there. So yeah, I kind of need you to go down next week. If I'm being honest,
I trust you win your last 2 after I beat you next week.
Maybe I got to put up a lot of points in the process if I want to be doing that. But anyways,
I'll keep it easy. I'll beat you 190 to 189 next week. We both score points. We're both happy
for sure. All right, take it easy, fellas. Good luck this week. Hopefully, you get your sweats down for Monday Night Football on to Week 12 after this game.